take a journey from the page to the stage. Watch a DIY tour be put together, from booking, promoting, and building the entire show with Go-Go Amy from the Pretty Things Peepshow.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now those days are gone and I'm not so self-assured. And now I find I've changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you.
Hey everybody, sorry first of all that it's taken me so long to get this to you. Things here at Peepshow headquarters have been nuts. We've been super busy, but I'm going to try and catch up today, make you a whole bunch of blogs so I can put them out in a timely fashion. Also, thank you to everybody who's been giving me feedback and comments about everything. I switched back to my old camera because apparently the sound was bad in the last one, and got this lovely interrogation lighting that I won't be using until I can actually get a real camera set up. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and the update about what's going on here with booking the tour is that everything up here on this calendar has started to turn red, and as everyone knows, I love my color coding, so that means that tons of shows have gotten booked, which is super awesome, and I'm really excited about that. We only have about 4 or 5 left to confirm, and most everything is like on hold, so we're pretty much good to go, which is awesome. And we're announcing the shows right now, so check our Facebook and website for all that. Next, in terms of the order of things with this blog, we should talk about actually setting up deals with the venues, because I've told you about routing and I've told you a little bit about contacting the venues, how that sort of works. But once you get in touch with them and they say, all right, you know, let's do this, let's talk money, let's talk about what your options are. So there's several different things you can do. One is that you can pay to rent a venue and then do your show, and that's great. That's awesome. It's actually not that awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It really has to be a place that you really, really want, and you know you're gonna be able to pay for that. You know you're also gonna be paid for any other thing that they're gonna charge you. I find rental venues always have like tons and tons of hidden fees, so I'm not super into them. Also, I find that the venue has absolutely no reason to in any way help you with anything, especially promotion, because they're getting a check no matter what. There are exceptions to that rule. There are some great theaters out there that I have rented or that that sort of worked out, and it's been a great deal. But there's a lot of them, like, it's kind of sketchy. Like, they just want your money and they don't want to help you. So that's option 1, rentals. Option 2 is getting a guarantee, which is what kind of everybody seems to want when they go on tour. Not that there's anything wrong with it. A guarantee is basically the venue is guaranteeing you a certain amount of money. No matter how many people show up, if 10,000 people show up, you're getting this flat rate, and that's that. And that's something that you need to figure out what your guarantee needs to be in terms of what your costs are for the tour, your living expenses day to day, how much money you need to pay everyone that's in your cast and crew. So that's something you really have to think about. And obviously, you know, on a Friday and Saturday night, you might ask for higher guarantee, lower on a weekday, that kind of thing. And that you just have to really kind of estimate what you need to survive, but then also what you can realistically bring into that venue. So that's a guarantee. It's your second option. And the third option is a door deal, which basically means you're just working off ticket sales. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get 100% of the door. That's super awesome. It's kind of like the best door deal you can get, obviously. And sometimes they'll do a percentage, so it'll be like an 80-20, a 60-40 split, and they'll take, you know, whatever smaller percentage, and that will go towards covering their costs of security, door person, lighting person, blah, 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 whatever advertising they might have. So that's one option to do. I actually personally love doing door deals. I know every band in the world is like, I want to get a huge guarantee. And yeah, it would be great if someone wanted to give me $10,000 every time I showed up. But I find when you're booking that people are much more likely to want you if you're cheap. And if you're doing a door deal, the venue's not paying for anything. They're really not at any huge loss. So if you totally fuck up and no one comes, they're not going to be happy, but they're also not going to have lost money. So a door deal is kind of great and very attractive, I think, for a venue. And I find that as soon as I say door deal, people are like, yeah, you can have the date. Because they're at absolutely no risk. Another thing you can do, and we do this a lot on our tour, is you do a guarantee with a back end, which is kind of like a door deal and a guarantee in one. So they'll guarantee you, say, like $500, and then you would make a percentage of the back end. And what the back end means is that, so $500 is your guarantee, you guys get that for your show, normal guarantee. Then the venue takes the next however much money they need to cover their costs, and they should give you a list of what their actual costs are. So you make the first 500, say they have 500 in cost, and then after that first 1,000, after everyone's costs are met, then you and the venue would start splitting that back end, essentially the profit. I don't know why they call it back end instead of profit. It just sounds dirtier. I don't know. But so that's a great way where when we do that, you can ask for a much smaller guarantee, but then end up actually making a ton more money because you're making that extra money on the back end. So if I'm like, well, I know I need $500 to pay everybody, but then, you know, I also want money to like pay myself back for the fucking $10,000 RV rental or whatever, the back end helps cover that cost. There is another option too that kind of sneaks in there. Not every venue wants to do this, obviously, because it's how they make most of their money. But you can also do percentage of the bar. Some smaller venues will literally just pay you a percentage of the bar. Some count that as like a kind of back-end deal. Like, oh, if the bar makes over a certain percent, if the bar makes over a certain amount of money, then you'll start making a percentage of it, which is great. If you get that, if you can get a bar, people are always going to drink. People are always, always, always going to drink. If you can get a percentage of the bar in any capacity, that's awesome. But also be smart about it. Do a drinking game on stage. Talk about buying drinks. Don't tell them you're making money off the top, but like if ever I'm doing I always try and push the bar just because if the bar makes money, the bar's going to be happy with you. But you know, if you can get a percentage of that bar, you better push that bar like crazy on stage when you're talking. So, to review, you've got rental venues, guarantees, door deals, guarantee with back end, and then you also have if you can ever get a cut of the bar. So those are kind of 5 ways to make money off the venue. Those are the 5 things you're going to kind of talk to the venue about. And I find it's really important to remember that you think that you're amazing, and you think you are the greatest band or the greatest show in the history of time. And who knows, maybe it's totally possible that you are, but the venue doesn't give a fuck. They've never heard of you. They don't know who you are. So, you know, you really need to impress them with who you are. And if you can show them any kind of numbers that can prove that you're not just pulling a guarantee out of thin air. I don't know because I'm not a booking agent. And by the way, if any booking agents are out there and would like to come and sit and hang out with me and let me interview you about this stuff, I find it fascinating and I would love to film you talking about it. So message me or comment down there about that. But, you know, you really have to prove yourself. And my thing is that I always ask for low guarantees and I always do door deals, especially the first time in through with a venue, because my thing is that I'm basically like, I have the balls to say, I will come in here for literally zero money and I will sell enough tickets to make sure that I can pay like 7 people plus an RV plus feed a dog plus buy some expensive ass scenery. Like, I know I will promote that hardcore that you don't even need to give me nothing. And maybe I'm super dumb and maybe I should be asking people for $4,000 every time I leave the house. Or maybe I'm super ballsy and maybe that's why I've done 900 shows and your band has done 7. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's my opinion as to why I think that we work so much. I mean, we're super cheap and we're super ready to just go and improve ourselves. And I mean, I've been doing this show for like, I don't know, like 7, 9, 300 years. I lost track, but like, we've always been able to book a ton of shows because I've always been really confident in the fact that I will promote the fuck out of it and I will sell tickets. And I think coming in with that attitude must make the show somewhat attractive to venues because they haven't stopped booking us. So that's a good thing. Basically, the long and short of it is, if you are not confident in the fact that you can sell tickets and you are not confident in the fact that you are going to promote your show, you should not be doing a show for a place that's charging cover. If you think you're an amazing musician and you think people need to see it, you need to set up a little stage in your garage or in your living room or at your mom's house, and you can invite all the people you want, and they can see how wonderful and amazing you are. But if you want to do shows, this is a business. You need to sell some tickets. And if you can prove to a venue that you have, and if you can really, really promote, then, and you have the balls to say, like, yeah, I'm going to fucking do this, and I don't need a $7 million guarantee until I've proven to you that I deserve it. I think that's how, pretty sure that's how we've booked all our shows. Either that or it's all the booby pictures. It's one of the two. Anyways, that is my rant about different kinds of deals that you can do. Again, I would super love to actually talk to our booking agents about this, because I have no idea if that's why they book us or not, or maybe they just like us, but it seems to work. I mean, my feeling is I'd rather come in cheap, prove myself, and then start asking for money later. And I think that from what I know from the bands that I've kind of worked with and met, and I've watched them book in a different style that I have, a lot of people go in asking for the world and not being able to follow through on it. So that's my theory. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because I'm super tired, and I'm going to go to bed because we have a lot of work to do tomorrow. But I do have the actual book that we're going to talk about this week. I super love Freakonomics, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with tour booking, but it's awesome. They have 3 books. They have Freakonomics, Super Freakonomics, and a new one, or recently new, called Think Like a Freak. If you don't have time to read all the books, even though they are all on audiobook, so you have no excuse, they also have a super fascinating podcast that I love. It's the Stephen Dubner and, Stephen Dubner and Stephen Levitt. I'm so tired. I love everything they say, and it's all about behavioral economics. So it's about kind of like why people not only spend money on things, but why people just do things, like the psychology behind why we show up to shows and why we book certain people and not other people. It's just all about kind of like the psychology behind why people do stuff, what motivates people. There's a really great, like, always talk about incentive motivations, which I'll talk about. I'm going to talk about these guys all the time because I've learned so much from sitting home and reading all these books like a crazy lady. But I'm going to talk about them more also when we talk about selling tickets, and also a little bit on merchandising. So I would highly suggest, like, everything Freakonomics. It's really, really good to learn a lot about business and a lot about psychology. And also, they're just really good writers, and it's entertaining. So even if you have nothing to do with touring, you should read this and you should listen to their podcast because they're super entertaining. And they're very smart guys. So that's it for this week. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble very, very late at night. I love you guys. I will see you out on the road. Good night.